You know the sudden onset of physical pressure, the tight chest, the elevated heart rate, the rapid-fire racing mind right before a high-stakes scenario. Most people assume it's a discipline problem. For an analytical, driven professional, these sensations often feel like proof of failure. You feel the tension and conclude you are unprepared. Your reflexive response is a frantic attempt to fix the problem. You try to forcefully mandate immediate relaxation, demanding your body power down on command. You find yourself comparing your internal physical state to a cultural fantasy of ice-cold composure. You'd think more effort helps, but white-knuckling positivity backfires. Monitoring your heart rate while trying to force it to slow down only adds to the distress. Measuring your high-stakes readiness against a fantasy of absolute calm convinces highly capable people that they are broken when the pressure is on. Here's what's interesting. The human stress response is a multi-part system. It consists of your raw biology paired with your psychological interpretation of that biology. Notice these two identical biological waveforms. One is categorized under threat, the other under excitement. The base physiological arousal is the same. Your biology provides the raw activation. The label you apply to that arousal dictates the resulting emotional state. The evidence here is mixed, depending on the person. Cognitive reappraisal, reframing anxiety as excitement, helps some people, but it is not a universal fix. The counterintuitive part is that physical activation is a requirement for focus. Your nervous system needs this arousal to sustain energy. High performers understand this. They regulate their relationship to arousal rather than trying to eliminate it. They aim for calibration. Think of physical arousal as your biological engine powering up for a demanding task. Without this perspective, you fall into a cognitive error that derails performance. We call it the meta-struggle. By labeling your physical arousal as the primary enemy, you create a secondary internal conflict. You start fighting your own nervous system, guided by an internal voice demanding that you must not feel these sensations. Consider the hidden cost. You have a limited reservoir of attention. Notice how the expanding block of suppression effort crushes task focus. To make matters worse, you fall into a self-monitoring trap, constantly asking yourself, "Am I calm yet?" Evaluating your internal state to see if your suppression tactics are working adds an immense cognitive load to the brain. This secondary cognitive load amplifies your distress. The original stressor is rarely the primary issue. The mind handles initial pressure well. The system crashes when the meta-struggle of trying to eliminate that pressure creates an overload. To break the loop, separate the physiological feeling of being activated from the psychological state of being out of control. Start by changing your internal vocabulary. Instead of demanding serenity, use functional words that fit the task: energy, readiness, sharpness. If you use breathing techniques, keep them grounded. Breathe to establish a physical tempo and regulate your heart, not to achieve a mystical blank mind. Then make one specific behavioral swap. Drop the self-judgment rule of "I need to feel calm." Replace it with the mandate, "I need to execute one clear move next." This is a different approach to engagement. Make the external behavior your target. The internal emotion becomes secondary. If you take one thing from this, stop grading the moment by whether you feel calm. Grade it by whether you did the next right action. Energy in your system is not the same thing as chaos in your decisions.